Okay. In this video, we are going to discuss chapter number 6 in your syllabus. That is from grade 10 Business and Accounting Studies syllabus. That is dual impact of transactions. Dual means double. In this lesson, we are going to understand introduction to the dual impacts of business transactions, double entry system, account, types of accounts, recording transactions in accounts. Right. Dual impact of business transaction. Here, if we take any business transaction, we have got two effects. Of two places. That is the meaning of dual impact. Any business transaction has two effects. Therefore, you have debit to one place, credit to another place, at the same time, the same amount. Here, many business transactions occur daily in a business. As a result of these transactions, the value of assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses are changed. In accounting, these changes are identified as a dual impact of the transaction. As explained earlier, each transaction causes change to two items of accounting equation. This is termed as dual impact of transaction. You know, in day-to-day business transactions, there can be two effects to assets, liabilities, capital. That is what we have identified so far. As explained earlier, each transaction causes change to two items of the account equation. This is termed as the dual impact of transaction. If we take investing capital to the business by the owner, asset increases, cash. Equally, equity increases. If we take purchase of furniture, asset increases, furniture, and cash decreases because you have to pay money, therefore cash goes out, then decrease in cash. Equally, asset increases, that is furniture. Payment of salary, expenses. Asset decreases, why? You have to pay money, money goes out. Equity decreases, why? Because of any expenses, there will decrease in equity. Because of this dual impact of each transaction, the value of each transaction should be written in two places. This means there should be two entries for each transaction. However, when the business expands, a large number of transactions could take place. In such a case, recording those transactions in an accounting equation may not be practical, even though we could record those transactions in the accounting equation. Is very difficult to obtain information clearly whenever necessary. Therefore, the dual impact of transactions are usually recorded in accounts according to the double entry system. Right. You know, earlier we understood how to adjust business transaction in account equation, but we can't use account equation to adjust all the business transactions. When the business is expanded, there can be more business transactions. Therefore, we will apply double entry system to record business transaction in a set of books. Then, now we are going to understand double entry system. What does it mean? As mentioned above, there is a dual impact of each transaction to the account equation, and this dual impact should be recorded in accounts. When recording the dual impact of transaction, the same amount has to be recorded in two separate accounts. Each account has a debit and a credit side. If a value of a transaction is debited to a particular account, that value also should be credited to another account. The accounting system which records the same amount in debit and credit sides of accounts is called as double entry system. Okay. What do you mean by double entry system? You know, it says that any business transactions has two bits called debit and credit. Therefore, at the same time, you have to debit to one place or one account, and you have to credit to another account the same amount. That is what the double entry principle says, or double entry system says. If I repeat the same thing again, any business transaction has two bits called debit and credit. Therefore, we have to debit to one place or account, and we have to credit to another place or account at the same time, the same amount. That is what the double entry system says. Then, when you apply double entry system or principle, we have to record business transactions in account. So, now we have to understand what is an account. Here, you are given a format of an account. Account is a commonly accepted structure which is used to record change in asset, equity, or liability, income, and expenses for a time period. An account is a commonly accepted structure that is used to record the change, increase or decrease of an asset and equity, a liability, an income, or an expense for a time period. Or you can simply say an account is the structure or format which is used to record business transaction. An account is a format or structure which is used to record business transaction. Here, you are given a format of account. Then, from this line downward, this account has been divided into two parts. From this point to starting point, debit side. From this point to ending point of right side, credit side. This is the account. On the top, you have write the name of the account. Then from this account, from this point to left side, debit side. From this point to right side will be credit side. Then if you take original format of an account, we have date column, description column, ledger folio column, value column. Again, in credit side, date, description, ledger folio, and value. We will further understand when you record business transaction in this type of account. This is the original format of the account. So you have to be familiar with the structure of an account. Then, if you take these columns, it is better to understand the nature of the account. As a new hand, you should know these things. Number 1 and 5, the date of the transaction. Here, from this point to left side, debit side. From this point to right side will be credit side. Therefore, number 1, date. Again, number 5 column also date. This debit side date column, credit side date column. Number 2 and 6. Number 2, description of the debit side. Number 6, description column of the credit side. Always we write opposite accounts name as a description. Here also, always we write the opposite accounts name in the description column. Number 3 and 7. Number 3, ledger folio of debit side, ledger folio column of credit side. we maintain this column to record the place where we record the opposite entry related to the business transaction. Ledger column is not important, but you should know the meaning of that. In this column, we normally use to record the page number or place where we record the opposite entry of the transaction. That means here, when you debit to this account, we mentioned the page number place where we record the credit entry. If with a credit side ledger folio, we mention here where we record debit entry of this entry, the page number or the page. Then number 4 and 8, the value of the transaction. Here, debit side value column, and this is the credit side value column. In these columns, we have write the value in rupee. Right. In a business organization, we can have 5 types of accounts. You know, double entry principle. It says that any business transaction has 2 effects called debit and credit. Therefore, we have debit to one place or account and credit to another place or account at the same time, the same amount. Depending on that principle, later on, other people have developed another 5 principle depending on the accounts available in the ledger. Before we understand those double entry principles, we have to understand the type of accounts. We already discussed that asset, equity, liability, income, and expenses arise due to business transaction. Accounts are used to record the changes of asset, equity, liabilities, income, and expenses due to transaction. All these accounts can be classified into 5 types. Asset accounts, for example, building account, debtors account, cash account. Liability accounts, examples, bank loan account, creditors account, electricity expense, payable account, that is accrued electricity. Equity accounts, example, capital account, drawings accounts. You know what is drawings? If the owner has taken goods or cash for their personal use, then it is called drawings. Then we have to maintain separate account for drawings and debit. Income accounts, example, sales account, sales commission account, interest income account, expenses account, salary expense account, insurance charges account, electricity expense account. When recording business transaction accounts, the value of the transaction should be either recorded in the debit side or the credit side of a relevant account. Let us consider how to record such transaction in accounts. Here in this book, you are given only 3 types of accounts, but in a ledger, we can have 5 types of accounts. Asset accounts, liability accounts, equity accounts, income accounts, expenses accounts. Asset accounts, number 1, number 2, liability accounts, number 3, equity accounts, number 4, income accounts, number 5, expenses accounts. Right, recording transactions in accounts. Accounts are debited or credited to show the increase or decrease of assets, equity, liabilities, income, or expenses due to transaction. However, debiting an account does not always mean an increase. To show an increase, some accounts are debited, and also to show decrease, some accounts are debited. This is same with crediting an account. This creates a problem. The problem is to decide what is debited to what is credited to show these changes. There are some generally accepted principles in accounting which address this problem. These principles are called as the principles of double entry. There are 5 principles for the 5 types of accounts. They are shown in the following table. You know, later on, other people develop double entry principles depending on double entry principle. So here we are given those 5 principles created depending on the ledger accounts available in a ledger. Ledger is the place where we maintain accounts. These days we can't just say like place, it can be a book, it can be a computer system, or it can be a place where we maintain ledger books. So we can have 5 types of accounts in a business: asset accounts, liability accounts, equity accounts, income accounts, expenses accounts. Then increase, decrease. We can easily understand these 5 principles. They are called double-entry principles. If we take assets accounts and expenses accounts, we have got the same principle. If we take asset accounts and expenses accounts, they are given in red. We have got the same principle. When there is increase in asset, we have debit. And when there is a decrease in asset, we have to credit to the asset account. Likewise, when there is increase in expenses, we have to debit to expense account. When there is a decrease in expenses, we have to credit to expense accounts. So you can easily remember assets accounts and expenses accounts have got the same principle: increase debit, decrease credit. Right. Then other 3 principles related to liabilities accounts, equity accounts, and income accounts. When there is an increase in liability, equity, and income, you have to credit to the relevant account. When there is a decrease in liability, equity, and income accounts, you have to debit to the relevant account. If I again repeat the same definition, when there is increase in asset accounts and expense accounts, we have to debit to asset or expenses. And when there is a decrease in asset or expenses accounts, we have to credit to asset or expense accounts. Then secondly, when there is increase in liability, equity, or income accounts, we have to credit. When there is decrease in liability, equity, and income accounts, we have to credit. Actually, this is the foundation for accounting. You should correctly identify these 5 principles. If I repeat the same thing, in your ledger, we can have these 5 types of accounts. Out of these 5 types of accounts, number 1, asset accounts, and number 5, expense accounts, have got the same principle. That is, when there is increase in assets and expenses, we have to debit to the relevant account. When there's a decrease in asset and expense accounts, we have to credit to the relevant account. Then, if you take liabilities, equity, and income accounts, they have got the same principle. When there is an increase in liability, equity, or income, we have to credit to the relevant account. When there is a decrease in liability, equity, or income account, we have debit to the relevant account. Right. Then we can just discuss transactions to identify this double-entry principle. Purchased a machine on 3rd January 2020 at rupees 500,000. You know, when the business purchases a machine in cash, there will be new asset called machine. Therefore, you have to debit to machinery account. Why? Asset increases 500,000. Equally, you have to credit to cash account. Why? Asset decrease 500,000. When you purchase a new machine in cash, new asset will come to the business. Therefore, asset increase concept, you debit machine account. When you purchase, you have to pay in cash, then money goes out. There will be decrease in asset. So you have to credit to cash account by an equal amount, that is 500,000. Then, as machinery asset increases, they have debited to machinery account, say in cash account, 3rd January, 500,000. Then opposite end goes to cash account. When you pay money in cash, there will decrease in asset. Therefore, you credit to cash account, say in machine account 500,000. Always you write in the description column of an account opposite account's name. Here, machine account, you have written cash book or cash account. In cash book or cash account, you have written machine account. Likewise, you always write the opposite account's name in the description column. Right. If you take second transaction, obtain a bank loan of 200,000 on 4th January 2020. Then, when you take a bank loan, there will be increase in asset because business receives money. Therefore, cash asset increases. Then you have debit to cash account 200,000. Equally, when you take a bank loan, then there will be increase in liability. Liability increase principal, you have to credit to liability account, bank loan account 200,000. Then here we have got cash account. As you receive money, you debit to cash account, say bank loan account. When you take a bank loan, you will get another liability called bank loan account. Therefore, you credit to bank loan account, say cash account. Always you write opposite account's name as a description. In cash account, bank loan. In bank loan account, description will be cash account. Next transaction, the owner invested 300,000 rupees as the capital on 5th January 2020. You know, when the owner introduces cash, business receives money, then cash asset increases. Therefore, cash account or cash book debit 300,000. Equally, when the owner introduces money to the business, owner's equity or capital increases. When there is an increase in capital, we have credit to the capital account. That's why cash book or cash account DR 300,000. Capital account or equity increases by another 300,000. Then you have credit to equity account or capital account 300,000. Then in cash account, you have debited, say in capital 300,000. In capital account, you have credited, say in cash book or cash account 300,000. We can take another example. Received an interest income of 20,000 on 5th January 2020. When you receive interest in cash, the cash asset will increase. When there is an increase in asset, you debit. That's why cash account DR 20,000. Equally, your interest income account, they have credited by. When there is an increase in income account, we have credit interest income. Therefore, they have credited to interest income account 20,000. So when you receive money, you debit to cash account, say interest income. Then you credit to interest income account, say cash book or cash account 20,000. Next one, 6th January paid salaries 20,000. Salary comes under expenses. When the business pays salary, then expenses increases. The principle behind that, when there is an increase in expenses, we have debit. That is why they have debited salary account DR 20,000. Equally, when you pay salaries in cash, the cash assets will come down by the same amount. Therefore, asset decreases principal, cash account credited 20,000. So salary expenses, then salary account you have debited 20,000. Say in cash account. In cash account you have created salary account, say 20,000. Right. The ledger. Ledger is a place where we maintain all the accounts of a business. Earlier, I told it can be a computer system, a book, or sometimes company on Oracle system, or sometimes a CD. Likewise, there will be actually big ledger book. Likewise, nowadays, the ledger is not a place. It depends on the situation. A separate account has to be maintained for each type of asset. Accordingly, there can be many assets accounts in a business, such as motor vehicle account, furniture account, cash account. Similarly, there can be many accounts for each type of equity, liability, income, and expenses in the business. The collection of all accounts is called as the ledger. Therefore, recording business transactions in accounts is also named as recording business transactions in the ledger. Right, now we understood something about dual impact of business transactions, double entry principle and other double entry principles, and how can you record business transaction by using double entry principles in your ledger. In the ledger, we can have 5 types of accounts. They are asset accounts, liability accounts, income accounts, expenses accounts, and capital or equity accounts. Out of those 5, we have got the same principle for assets and expenses. When there is increase in asset and expenses, we have debit. When there is a decrease in asset or expenses, we have credit to the relevant expense or asset account. Then liabilities, capital, and income accounts have got the same principle. That is, when there is increase in liability, capital, or income, we have credit to that account. When there is decrease in liability, capital, or income, we have debit to the relevant income, liability, or equity account. That is what you have to keep in mind. Then we can discuss just active number 1. Write whether the increase and decrease of each of following accounts should be written in the debit side or credit side of the account. Serial number 1 to 10, you are given 10 transactions, account name, increase, decrease. Building account, building comes under asset, therefore building. Increase DR, decrease CR. Bank loan account, it comes under liability. Bank loan comes under liability, therefore increase CR. You have mentioned increase CR, decrease DR. Sales account, it comes under income, therefore increase CR, decrease DR. Electricity charges, it comes under expenses, therefore increase DR, decrease CR. Interest issued income, interest issued means it comes under income, therefore increase CR, decrease DR. Vehicle account is an asset, it comes under asset, therefore increase DR, decrease CR. Purchases account comes under expense, therefore expense increases DR, decreases CR. Capital account, it comes under equity, increase CR, decrease DR. Drawings account, drawings means what the owner has taken to the business. It can be either in cash or goods, but anyway, it will affect to decrease owner's equity or capital. Therefore, we don't debit to capital or equity account. Instead of that, we maintain a separate account called drawings account. And if there is an increase in drawings, we debit, that is DR. If there is a decrease in drawings, we credit to the drawings account, CR. Debtors account, you know, if the business has sold goods on credit, then they will create another asset called debtors. It comes under asset, therefore increase DR, decrease CR.